Hey folks, Stephen Cook here. Welcome to Winter Review of Hebrew 2020, video number 4. Here we are. I've got in the Accordance program, Futato's Biblical Hebrew Grammar open. We are on page 35, and we're looking at exercise E. This is essentially a review of the Cal-Perfect conjugation, the Cal-Perfect paradigm, which we looked at and tried to learn in video review number 3. So here we go. The first direction is to read the text out loud. This is the text of Psalm 1:1, which is a wonderful psalm that begins the Hebrew Psalter. And we're to read it out loud, focusing on pronunciation. Let's go ahead and have the computer do that. I've called it right up here in the Accordance screen. He reads pretty fast, so I'll read it for you more slowly after the computer reads it.
אשרי האיש אשר לא הלך בעצת רשעים, ובדרך חטאים לא עמד, ובמושב לצים לא ישב.
That was very fast. Let's try it one more time and then I'll read it more slowly.
אשרי האיש אשר לא הלך בעצת רשעים, ובדרך חטאים לא עמד, ובמושב לצים לא ישב.
Ashrei ha'ish asher lo halach ba'atzat reshaim u'v'derech hata'im lo amad u'v'moshav letzim lo yashav. The letzim are the scoffers from the noun letz. Our first task, circle all the Cal-Perfect verbs. So essentially what we're going to do to find these verbs is to look for verbal roots. Here we have halak, the verb to go, to walk. The sign of the Cal-Perfect is this long A vowel under the first root letter. So that is comets. So we're going to be looking for these comets. Now in this case, we're talking about the ish, technically the man, but here this applies to both genders. And that's why the NRSV translates it in the plural, which is kind of interesting, even though the Hebrew is actually singular. But the NRSV is rightly trying to be more inclusive. It does mean that all the verbs will, at least in verse 1, they'll be masculine singular, because that's how it is in the Hebrew. So let's find our first verb. Ashrei ha'ish. How blessed or how happy. Happy is a good translation, by the way, because it's not that God is imputing a specific supernatural blessing, but this is a wisdom notion in the Bible of how to get into the right sync with God's creation, whereby you'll find happiness and joy.
Sweet eternal love. God within, my sacred guardian. God within, still my heart will
Happy is the
sing.
one who does not. Here we are. Halak, with the comets, the root meaning to go or walk, and the computer has indeed parsed it for us as the Cal-Perfect. That's what we're looking for, a Cal-Perfect, third masculine singular. So we will go ahead and give that a circle as per the instructions. Lo halak ba'atzat rashaim, the wicked ones. We're going to talk about these different adjectives. They get more intense as we move through from wicked down to the sinners, the hat ta'im, and then finally these awful leitzim, these scoffers. We're beginning to see some Hebrew parallelism here, as we have 3 parallel lines, but there's a what's more quality as people get deeper into problems of unwise behavior as the poetry progresses through the three poetic lines, through the three cola. So it's a tricolon in Hebrew. Does not walk in the counsel of the wicked, and in the path or the way of Hataim does not amad. So I think here we've got another one, three-letter root, amad, meaning to stand. We've got our long A vowel indicating that the tense or aspect is cal, and indeed the computer has parsed it as the cal perfect, third masculine singular. So we found another one, and we'll go ahead and we'll circle it. All right, and continuing on then, in the seat or the dwelling, the moshav of the late seam of the scoffers, he does not sit or dwell, make a home, yashav. And here at the end of the verse, again, we have a root, a verbal root, yashav, and that long A vowel, the comets, would be a strong sign of the cal perfect verb, and indeed the computer has parsed it as the cal perfect, third masculine singular. So we will go ahead and circle it. All right, so we've successfully completed instruction number 1, read the text, and instruction number 2, circle all the cal perfect verbs. So we're doing well. The last part of the exercise, exercise E on Furtado page 35, questions number 3 and 4, is to go ahead and look for all the masculine plural nouns. Those would be the nouns with this "im" ending, which gives them the masculine plural, gender, and number. And then question number 4 would be to go ahead and put a box around all the nouns that have the definite article. That would be the hey, and usually a doubling. Here the aleph can't double, so there's a compensatory lengthening of the A vowel in front of it. Instead of a patak, we've got a comets. So let's go ahead, now that we've found a definite article, let's put a box around that. And let's go ahead and see if we can find anything more. Here we do have an im ending on rasha, that im ending indicative of a masculine plural noun. So we are supposed to underline all masculine plural nouns. So let's go ahead and do that. Continue along, looking for definite articles or masculine plural nouns. Not seeing any. Oh, all right. Here we have late seam. That looks like an im ending on the noun lates, and indeed it is a masculine plural noun. So let's go ahead and underline late seam, scoffers. And has anyone spotted what I've missed? There's one masculine plural noun that we haven't got yet, and indeed here it is, sinners, which is the masculine plural with the im ending. Now you'll notice it says adjective, but the adjective is being used as a substantive. That's one of the 3 ways that adjectives can be used as nouns, sinners. So let's go ahead and complete the exercise by going ahead and underlining this, because it is clearly masculine plural. And that's it, my friends. I think we've successfully concluded and completed the exercise. Keep our fingers crossed that we haven't missed anything else. Well, I've got you. I thought it might be fun to go ahead and just look a little bit more at the spirituality of the passage with you. The first word for those who've got it wrong in life is rasha. The wicked. Those are folks who are misaligned with righteousness, who have the wrong orientation in life. You don't want your path in life to stay very long in any proximity to theirs. The second word in the passage for those in the wrong is chata. Chata, that's the sinner. Here's a more intense way of getting life wrong, and now we've not just crossed paths with these people, but we're standing and associating ourselves with them. Not good. The chata is a criminal in God's eyes, one who's moved beyond simple orientation to the actual habitual practice of evil. Finally, worst of all, we've got the scorner, and we're not just associating with them, but we're actually going ahead and setting up camp with them. The scorner is not just sinning to their own profit and enjoyment, but they're actively opposing that which is good and righteous. Despite the English translation, the emphasis is not so much on nasty speech as it is on foolhardy arrogance. Now, if you're up for it, there's a really cool modern Russian painting that I'd like to look at as a way of reflecting further on the theology and spirituality of Psalm 1 and on the first verse. It's called The Meal of the Impious or The Meal of the Wicked. It's a Russian painting by Vladimir Shinkarov. I'd like to look at the oil painting not so much as reflecting the complexities of Soviet life in the 1990s, but in relationship to Psalm 1, verse 1. Psalm 1, verse 1 contrasts the righteous and the wicked in stark terms, black and white terms, and you can see in this painting the same sort of dualism, the bright whites and then the dark shades, the obscuring of individual features, so as to emphasize the typological. The danger for the psalmist is that her or his life walk will join up with those of the wicked. And that's what's happened in the painting. The newcomer to the left, who still has his bright color about him, is drawn in. And in Soviet culture, it would be rude to turn down the offer of a drink. But drinks can be dangerous in biblical culture. Too much drinking may bring a sense of common joy, but you get a hangover in the morning and God doesn't have to intervene to cause that. Here, the white napkin against the black table almost looks like the man is sitting down to a piano to sing and enjoy the drinking. It's a big attraction that wickedness, scoffing, sin can have. The folly of those misaligned with God seems clear in the painting, however, in that the newcomer's tie, is that what it is, seems to morph into a crack in his head. Ouch, it foreshadows quite a bad outcome eventually. There's a tradition in Russian painting, of course, of depicting the Trinity as three figures sitting at table, famous icons along these lines. Here, we've got an impious Trinity, if you will, the meal of the impious or the wicked, as the artist titles the painting. So we've got the three figures in my reader response, the three figures in verse 1 of Psalm 1, the wicked, the sinner or the criminal, and the scoffer. Unfortunately, the newcomer to the left seems to have joined in this unholy or impious trinity. He's one of the three, which is exactly what Psalm 1 was hoping to avoid.